That's the River Foyle there behind me. It runs right through the town of Derry City. Many people have ended their lives in that river, either from jumping off the bridges or just submerging themselves in the river because of their addiction. But the idea for this film, well, for me anyway, started in the sky. It was the sound of helicopters searching for dead bodies that gave me the idea. It's the sound that everyone hears in the town, and it needs no explanation when we hear it. My name's Gavin Patton. I'm a recovering alcoholic myself. I've been dealing with it for 21 years of my 40 years. This film will primarily focus on Derry getting a detox centre for the many alcoholics in the town. I really don't know anything about drugs. I don't know how big the drug problem is or how small the drug problem is. I've been making street films about alcoholism for many years, well, since I got sober. But this film is different. This film is about how this town is crying out for a detox centre for drugs and in particular alcohol. If this town doesn't get a detox centre, a crisis centre for drugs and alcohol, then that river is going to continue to do good business, taking lives, and that police helicopter that we all hear is going to continue to do good business, searching for dead bodies. Hello, my name's Gavin Patton. I got an email there from Kathy to arrange an interview with Pat. Aye. About, the campaign to get a detox centre open in Derry.
And how I became involved in that particular issue was I had a brother who was an alcoholic. I had a brother who literally was a street drinker and who tried to, in fact, doing quite well now. Will not mind me sharing his story, but he went under the foil and was one of the few people that you could say he's a survivor of going under the foil, that he was very lucky that somebody was there to take him out. So ultimately, as a politician, I became involved because people knew I had an interest in the level of alcoholism in Derry. Personally, I wanted to become involved because I've seen the difficulties that it creates in the family home, the difficulties it creates in the community, and the sheer stress and pressure that it places on so many people because of someone in that unit that has addictions. And I've always remarked, and I've said it to people, even in debates in Stormont, there's an opportunity in someone's life that they want to get their addiction resolved. And at that particular time, that wee opportunity that they say, I need help. And we know at the present time, the circumstance, we don't have a detox that enables somebody who does it. And how the original group came about, to be quite honest, was it was a level of people who were losing lives, not because of self-harm, as them trying to go cold turkey themselves and taking seizures, taking other chronic illnesses such as collapse of their organs or heart attack. And certainly there was a high relevance of that in the city, and it wasn't younger people. These were street drinkers. We know who they are. I can name them, do you know, but I'm not going to name them for obvious reasons. It was for that reason that, we have a very good provision in Derry, the Northern Centre. That's a rehabilitation centre, not a detox service. And the story told about the Northern Centre originally was, people could have went on to the Northern Centre who were literally just off alcohol, for example, but there was a death in the Northern Centre and they didn't have the range of detox and medical backup provision that's required in a detox centre because of the elements of you're prone to seizures and various other issues that you need a backup doctor and medication. So Northern Centre changed its whole focus, and now somebody who wants rehabilitation, there has to be a very secure period of time lead-in time before they'll take you in.
At this point in my life, I'm doing a bit of writing. I'm an author, I'm a playwright. I done a play a couple of years ago for the city culture. It's about the street drinking culture here in the town. And we're actually here, we're mostly at Tix Park here at the wall down at the Foyle embankments, just where I actually physically drunk here myself, So that's where I got my inspiration and my experience to write, the play about what's really happening, on the outskirts, the outskirts of Derry, the outer reaches of the town, where the drinkers go, So this is where it all happens here, and on over under the bridge, and then the railway station. But most of the drinkers would drink here, during the summer months, especially, even in the winter. You were gonna drink here myself. And then the play, like even here where we're standing, part of the play was about a young man's suicide. And I've actually witnessed the suicide here, you know what I mean? And it just happened over there, you know what I mean? That sort of inspired me about that piece, some a fella who was a regular drinker here, you know what I mean? He wasn't that well emotionally or mentally, and he went under the foil, and it really hit me very, very hard, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't, the piece in the play that I done about that really happened, me walking across here and seeing his girlfriend sitting here and the police around her, and I actually thought that they were just taking what they used to be done years ago, I don't know what they do now, just take the drink off the street drinkers and pour it out. That's what I thought it was. But when I came across, I knew it was sudden serious, because the gear was in
my son he made it under the water.
And I knew him, and I knew him from going under the Foyle Haven, and he was a life and soul of the party. He had one of these people in life you meet and you say to yourself, that person's got a good heart.
John, it's Gavin. How you doing?
Well, I'm a non-practicing alcoholic of 19 years. My drinking started when I was 16, 17 years of age. I suppose I didn't really notice a problem until I was 18, 19, which is pretty quick. Didn't take long for things to start going wrong. I think I first realised at 21, 22 that I had a real problem and I had to do something about it. So first place I went to was AA. My father had also been through the same problems myself years before me, so I had a bit of information coming from my father on where to go. I went to AA, in and out, spent the next 9-10 years drinking, not drinking, fighting it, not fighting it, in and out of Northern Centre for counselling. I was in the Northern Centre for 6 weeks. Came out of Northern Centre, stayed sober for a year, drank for another 2 or 3 years. Through all this I had tried to keep a career going, tried to keep a marriage going with children. Not very successful when there's a lot of drinking involved, so all that went to the wayside eventually, until I ended up on the street. I was there the day. It was a slow suicide, form of suicide, because I hadn't really balls to kill myself.
You're involved at some level, with the campaign to get a specific drug and alcohol detox centre to Derry.
Well, I heard it after the unfortunate death of young boy Quigley. I was shocked, as there's been many other families in this town shocked. I mean, everybody in this town knows somebody who's an alcoholic, or somebody in their family is an alcoholic, or somebody's died from an alcoholic. We're all touched by it, every single person. And drugs are being more prevalent in the past number of years, the harder drugs been more prevalent, and it's not a good thing, really. You know.
She has been sorely tested by the loss of her own son, and by the circumstances that we find ourselves in this year. She's also a very dignified person, and I'm very proud to have her as my sister, quite quickly.
I don't want to really talk about Andrew and Andrew's struggles. Tonight I want to talk about me and my family and my friends, and the impact that Andrew's suicide has left on us as a whole. I just know myself, my soul is now empty. I feel that I've lost my soul.
Andrew was just an average kid. He was a happy child until he turned 15 and I was diagnosed with cancer. And that's when everything changed in his wee life. Everything was upside down. He had to come and live with his granny, and I had to stay up in the cancer centre for 2 months to get all my treatment and that. And when I came back from the hospital, I did notice a change in him. He had an attitude problem, and I thought that it was just because he was afraid to lose me, because he seemed to blame me. For anything happening in his life, it was my fault. But I do believe that he's been taking the drugs from he was about 15, 16. Following that, his granny had a massive heart attack. That shook his world. Then things were starting to loosen up. He nearly lost me to cancer. And then his granny nearly died with a heart attack. So everything is becoming unbalanced. Then the following year, his father died. So that was him really threw under the midst of a tornado. Then after that, his granny was diagnosed with terminal cancer. So we knew that she was going. And it was just one hit after another that just totally unhinged his wee world. And although he was 16 or whatever, 17, he was a big, tall, 6'3", strapping lad. And you'd have thought to look at him that he could carry the weight of the world on his shoulders. But no, he couldn't cope. And that's when the drugs really became an issue. Because I noticed when he would come back in from wherever he was, just over the street during the day, he would come in from over the street, and I could smell the smell of him. It was like a chemical smell, but it was a really disgusting smell. And I would say to him, "What's that? What is that smell? Take a coat off to get washed," because it was so. But now I know what it was. It was that meth. So
you hear whispers, but nobody knows how big the problem is, or you never hear anybody talking about them. No parents talking about drugs, or maybe I'm out of it. I'm too old now. I don't know anybody that takes drugs. But it's not right for me to just ignore it and not try to find out anything about it. This documentary won't be complete and an overall picture of addiction in the town and which addictions need a detox centre if I don't include drugs. Foot bent. How did you go about taking your first drug? How you offered it? Did you know?
The first drug I ever took was whenever I think it was what? I was about 18 or so. I was down in the grill and it was offering Lee. And I took the E and I was drinking as well. But I'd stopped drinking, by the way, when the time I was 20. I don't drink, I haven't drunk in like nearly 12 years. But I took the E and I loved it and I couldn't wait every weekend. Then you're taking an E, then you're taking 2 E's, then you're taking 3 E's, then 4 E's, and it just all of a sudden just stopped. Then by the time I was over 20, I just done for about a year and a half, and it all just stopped. Just the great buzz, just a brilliant buzz. But you need to do it, you definitely need to do them. Because I mean, there's no point in sitting taking E's, sitting in a house. That's pointless. Because you're sitting sort of around and you're going, wait, Jesus, what I want to do something, and you're sitting in the house and everything. So if you're out in the nightclub and you're taking E's, you go, I'm going to walk. You know what I mean? At least you can go walk around the nightclub, the tunes are pumping and the place is going and it's a lot of crack and you're seeing your friends and they're all sex energy. And to be honest with you, and this has been pure honest, I always said I would never touch a drug. I would never ever get onto drugs. I would never, that is no way. I used to call them scumbags, I used to call them rejects, I used to call them retards, I used to call them this, that, losers, you name it, I called them it. You know, and then before, when I seen them on TV, I used to see these things then. Whenever I got to this stage in my life then where I wouldn't mind then experimenting with stuff like that because I was out drinking, I was drunk, and I wouldn't have cared when I was drunk. And I think I was drunk, to be honest with you, to introduce me to drugs, because it was whenever I was drunk that I started, you know, that I started to take a chance at not being taken, I just wanted to try it. And then whenever I see it on TV, and I was watching TV and it says, oh, this drug and all, this gives you great euphoria, this gives you this, but it's really bad for your insides. You're going, oh, give a fuck, it's bad for your insides. I'm going to try it there. Look, I'm watching them, many good points there. There's giving you, they're giving you all these good points, and about 3 bad points, and you're going, that's just encouraging people out to take fucking drugs, idiot clowns, you know what I mean?
Some fucking sight there, hey? These all take drugs?
Aye.
Is anybody on anything at the minute?
I'm stoned.
What?
Grass.
What?
Grass.
What about
Cannabis.
you? Cannabis too?
Aye.
What other drugs do you take?
Diazepam, meth, drink, coke, whatever.
Whatever you get your hands on.
Where do you get, is that crystal meth?
Oh,
Aye.
Where do you get
pure
that?
meth.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Do you go to somewhere you know you'll get it?
Aye.
Oh, aye.
Oh, aye.
I don't want to know where, but is that in people's houses?
I'll get you outside this shop.
Anywhere, really, man.
Mobile shops as well?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Right then, so it's easy to get, is it?
Oh, aye.
What about cocaine?
Easy
Aye,
as well.
easy.
Heroin?
No, you better hear that, I think, but there's a few people on it.
Right.
And do you take drugs regularly?
Aye.
Every day.
How have your lives changed since you started taking drugs?
Dramatically.
Dramatically, aye. Madness.
How?
Fucking.
No money
Mood
anymore.
swings
Eh?
Feeling stuff.
Scant.
Having to
Yeah,
rob
every
every day,
day.
you know.
Running about for
Everything.
plastics.
You run about what?
For
It's
plastics.
plastic.
For money.
Aye.
Do you steal for it?
No.
Sometimes if needed to.
Yeah, I used to, aye.
How much is crystal meth?
Score.
Score,
A
aye.
score, how much is that?
20 pound.
20?
Aye.
And how much would that do you?
Fucking 15 minutes.
15 minutes, aye.
15, and how long was the buzz?
Oh no. If even.
Depends how much you took, like.
Aye, you just crave more and
But
more.
then
and more.
after you snuff the first one, you're on your way automatically to get the second one.
Aye. You don't realise it.
Aye.
And has your life's gone downhill.
I was put on the care and all over drugs.
Who's that speaking?
Went through the court system and all, fucking done 6 months in jail.
Why?
For fucking armed robbery.
Do you still love the family?
Aye, of course I do.
And do you not worry about them having a sore heart over it?
No. Yeah, I tell them all the time that they stress too much. Just.
They what?
They worry too much.
Aye.
And I got them
Too
myself.
overprotective.
Aye.
The drugs started when I was 15, so it did.
How did you get into that? How was your friends trying it?
Going to nightclubs. I started going to nightclubs at 15, and I just bought them on the street.
Outside the nightclubs?
Inside the nightclubs as well.
And the people like dealers that you knew?
There was dealers I knew, yeah.
How did it make you feel?
It gives you a buzz, it gives you an energy buzz, it gives you the excited buzz, the tingly feeling. I remember before I went to school, or after I went to school even, when I started taking drugs, the excitement of even taking it, or getting out that night, I actually literally vomited. So I did.
Excitement?
Excitement, yeah.
Thinking about getting it?
Yeah.
You take it before school?
No, it was after school, sorry. My family's destroyed with my drug taking.
Drug dealing?
My drug taking.
Drug taking?
Yeah. So they're disgusted. They I had an episode there 3 weeks ago. They ended up in intensive care due to a drug overdose and a diabetic coma.
When was that?
3 weeks ago.
And how long were you in that for?
I was in hospital for 6 days and then I was in Grangewood Hospital for another 4 days.
What led up to that? How much drugs?
I was taking drugs. I was on the party scene. I've been partying for 3 days, but then the come down of it all, it just got too much and I took an overdose. I led into a diabetic coma. And the next thing I woke up, I was in just out of resuscitation in Gavin Hospital. And there was no responding from me at all. My parents were over there. In general, it was a scary experience, but at the time, I didn't regret it at the time, for a simple reason that I done it because I couldn't handle life anymore.
8 months I was jagging up. Well, I came out of that relationship after my dad had a baseball bat and left my blood clot in the brain. So when my dad got out of hospital and I couldn't really handle him, I felt like I was responsible because I brought this feel on their lives. My father wasn't well, so I disappeared and went done the drugs. And for 8 months I was jagging up. But my mental health wasn't great. I had an MVQ mental health. I got people to give people good advice, but I couldn't take it myself.
No.
You know, and I'm normally in control of my life and control everything, but this problem just got hold of me quick. And first thing in the morning I would have been, instead of a cup of tea or something, I would have been shooting up.
What type of drugs was that?
It was methadone, all the meth.
That's not the same as crystal meth, is it?
Aye, it was exactly the same as crystal meth.
Aye.
And I got to a stage then I was running about with knives. That paranoid, thinking that there was people after me.
Was it all injectable drugs?
It was all injecting now.
Is that easy to get in the town?
It's very easy to get down.
And do you
Very
make it up
easy.
yourself? And just...
No, I was loving my drug dealer, so it was easy for me to get access to it, you know. But ethanol, that was the
the raw.
Ethanol?
Ethanol was the raw chemical to make no meth, and that's what I was shooting up.
The raw chemical?
The raw chemical.
Is it a more intense high?
Aye. Oh, it's desperate. And got to a stage in that all my veins collapsed, and I begged the fella not to be phoning an ambulance because I didn't want to die in the hospital. That's how close to death I was like.
Your veins collapse now?
It was totally numb.
Are you off everything now?
Off everything now.
What's that been like?
It was horrible. I remember lying up in the bed beside my daddy and crying my eyes out with pain and withdrawal, and I just felt trapped. I didn't know where to go. I had nobody to talk to.
And you was through on your own?
I done it on my own.
Was there no option to go anywhere to do it?
No.
Not on the town?
No.
So you had to suffer all that on your own with no help?
No help.
What are you doing, Anna?
Hi there.
Gary, can you tell me a wee bit about yourself, you know, when you first started taking drugs?
When I was about 12, started smoking dope and grass, and led on to heavier drugs, yeah.
And
Dope. And then led grass, and then e-tablets, coke. And then once the Monkey Madness came out, then I was hooked on it.
What's Monkey Madness?
Meth, you get.
Is that legal? What is that?
It's just like a legal high. And I got well addicted to it then. I was taking it every day. Couldn't get off it.
And where did you buy that?
Shops, and then just in the street then. It was good. It was good the first couple of times. Give you a good buzz, and then the more you took it, then you just felt badly depressed, but you still wanted it. It was a craving, an addiction. You just kept wanting to take it and take it, even though it left you feeling down.
Give you a high?
I give you a high to start, and then just depressed then every time we took it. I just couldn't stop taking it.
The come down of it after?
It was bad too, yeah.
Does that leave you depressed?
Aye.
What do you do for that when you're like that?
There's nothing you can do. You feel suicidal and every time I try to go and get help and all, like at White Oaks you have to pay $4,000 to end it, so then the place on the other side you have to be off drugs about 6 weeks before you can get on there. So it's more or less you have to do it yourself, there's nowhere to get into.
What's been the effect on your family life with drugs?
Oh, bad. My mum and my family put me through hell.
They put you through hell?
No, I put them through hell. But I wasn't realising at the time, no, but it was addiction, like, and I didn't need the help, like.
What's your experience like, with the doctors and trying to get, say you were coming down off the meth and you needed help from the doctor or the hospital, what's your experiences there,
They don't really care, to be honest with you. They just look at you as if you have 5 heads and send you when you're in the hospital. See when they give you a drop and all, when you overdose on them, they just see your nerves. They like Grant, you know, they do all the feel suicidal day and all this, and they just send you home.
Don't do nothing.
Nothing, no.
Cheerio.
Because a couple of times, like, I was, like, one day I was in the hurt machine for 6 days, took an overdose, and they just sent me home then.
I was found today up at the Millennium Forum, lying on the street. This is what's going on in our city at the minute. There is an absolute epidemic. What the young kids are doing now is, it's nothing to do with heroin. It's to do with injecting legal highs. They're injecting legal highs nilly-willy, as easy as just click of the fingers, a phone call, done, and it's all through internet. This is where the majority of the drugs are coming through internet. Yes, there's no such thing now in our city as drug dealers anymore. It's people who juggle, who get their own fix and sell a bit on to get somebody else. So at the end of the day, this is what's going on.
Is that what young people are doing now?
This is what young people is doing now.
Internet?
They go on the internet and they'll buy an ounce, or they'll buy 2 ounces, or they'll buy whatever they want to. They could buy a kilo, and they'll sell it amongst a multitude of their friends, and that's what they do. And then they're running around, and they're not happy with snorting anymore, because obviously them snorting, when anybody that knows understands, you can only snort that stuff for a certain period of time. You can eat that stuff, you know what I mean, for a certain period of time, but the snorting burns your nose and it leaves your nose fucked. And basically now they're getting it straight into the veins. They're banging it straight in because they're getting an instant hit.
You know, he demanded money off me. He demanded just the attitude that he had towards me. He was so angry, so frustrated, so agitated all the time. He was never happy. And then last year things really did go downhill quite quickly. He took an overdose, and I'm on heavy pain medication, and he took quite a lot of tablets, and he's very lucky to even have come round from it, because the doctor did say another 10 more minutes. If he hadn't got to them within 10 minutes.
They were yours, were they?
They were all my medication he took. And he was for clocking out, that was way back, not this February but the February before. And ever from then on, it was just a fight with him to get him to love. He used to cry in my face and say, "Mommy, please just let me die, Mommy. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. Why am I not normal? Why can I not go out like a normal 18-year-old and have a drink and come home?" He was just lost and stuck in this dark, deep place, and I couldn't reach him. I couldn't, normally if you say to somebody things will always look better in the morning, just no, calm down. No, things were never any brighter for him the next day. And he would walk about and say to me, "See this here, see this smile on my face, Mommy? This is a fake smile, and I am fed up putting on this fake smile."
And then it was tramadol, and I've just used me the opiates. I started taking tramadol for pain for an accident I had years ago, and I started taking tramadol for that. That there's what really got me into drugs then. But the worst thing I ever done in my whole life was try opiates. I can't even say that about coke, because I came on, I stopped taking coke straight away. I stopped taking E straight away. I stopped drinking straight away. I stopped smoking dope straight away. I don't smoke dope either. I don't do. The only thing that I really do now at the moment would be take opiates, and I would take a few diazepam now and again, and that would be it.
Are they all prescribed?
The opiates and diazepam. There's some of us.
And you get it then from where you get it?
Aye.
And it's not hard?
Sometimes it is. Sometimes then you be rolling around down with your head up your tube then.
And what does it feel like whenever you want it but you can't get it?
Don't even want to talk about it. Watch Trainspotting. That's all I can say. Watch Trainspotting. That's exactly what it is. It makes it look as if, oh, heroin, that's a dirty drug. No, don't get me wrong, I would never touch that. No, I would never touch heroin. Would never in my life touch heroin. But them things that's rolled about this town at the moment are actually stronger than heroin. When it comes to, they're 100 times, they see them like even down to certain things that people's getting, well, by tablets. The tablets are just as strong. The biggest tablets, the OxyContin is one of the biggest sellers around the town. There's the B-hydrocodone, there's them fentanyl patches, there's that many things all around the town, and them fentanyl patches, God forgive me for saying, if a wee even get a wee nick off one of them, they're dead.
Has anyone ever taken an overdose?
I've overdosed in Tramadol.
What happened?
No, just ran about sick for 3 days. I didn't go to hospital. Thrown up, I've watched people take fits and all and fucking nearly choking their vomit.
What about Grincha?
I go out there with my house, they came.
I was meant to go out, but my ma's never wanted me to go out now.
Why?
Because she didn't want me to go out to.
Why is that? She ashamed?
No, because they want to put me on tablets or something, but I said no.
Your mother doesn't want you on any?
No. I just said
but I think it's dodgy. You go to doctors and ask for help to get off tablets and
they give you tablets.
I told a doctor I was addicted to diazepam and then she put me on diazepam. That was a bit stupid, like, wasn't it?
Yeah. When you are going down your head, there's nowhere to fucking go.
She gave me more.
You're afraid to go to the house.
No,
you
see,
don't want your man off flipping.
Right.
What'd you say, there's nowhere else to go?
Aye, you don't want your man off flipping out like when you go to Gavin about 5 in the morning. Fucking on your head like, so you just fucking stay out, don't you?
All night.
So you don't see you down your head.
I used to go get myself arrested just for some murder thing.
Were you high then, or?
Aye. Somewhere used to spend the night till the next morning.
Right.
Or just go camping on a tab or something.
Have your parents ever tried to take you somewhere to get help at night?
Where?
Where could you go, like? Nowhere you can go?
Nowhere to go.
Shepherd Hospital, what they just rang a cops call and a whole nightmare.
I would have knew Andrew Quigley very well, and I've been in the same situation as Andrew's been on, but I've never actually followed through it. I've been on the fire bridge, I've been talked down from the fire bridge, but I really hadn't got the nerve to actually follow through it. I tried to hang myself a couple of times as well, but hadn't got the nerve to even do that either. The only thing I've done is overdosing intentionally. Drugs has played a big part in my life. They've wrecked my family. They've wrecked Andrew's family.
I hadn't seen him all that day on Friday, and me and my friend happened up to the Guildhall because the Shane Phelan was playing at the Guildhall, and I got a text from him to say, are you in the bungalow? I need to get changed. And I text, no, I'll be home soon. So that was it. Went to my bed. Any other weekend I would have been nervous and anxious, you know, about Andrew's state of mind or whatever. And I don't know whether it's not because I hadn't seen him all that day or not, that I wasn't expecting that. The next morning the police knocked at the door. I wasn't expecting the police that next day. told me that some things had been collected off the bridge. Andrew's coat and passport. That's it. He was gone. Because he had experienced all these human tragedies. And for an adult to go through what he went through in such a short space of time, you know, people would be looking, there would be alarm bells ringing. But because he was only 17 or 18, it was like, no, nobody wanted to know. No,
You think he'd know where to go then?
He had nowhere to go.
Do you think if he had been just, in a way, lifted into a detox centre, he could have been detoxed?
He could have been saved. He could have been saved. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted somebody to grab him and just pull him out of this environment that he was in. But I am not a professional. There's only so much a mother can do. And Andrew was getting to the stage that he no longer believed me, because I kept saying that many times that you will get the help, we will get you the help. But the more times we asked for help, the more times we were refused it. So he wasn't even believing me anymore.
I would feel anxiety making this. It's addiction every day. It's seeing other people's misery every day, and I don't feel good. In particular when I'm editing the material and I have to listen over and over and over again to the word drug, to the word alcohol, to the word suicide, and it makes me feel uneasy. It's slap bang in my face that I can disappear off the face of this earth so quick.
It obviously all started off with a bit of grass, and then I started taking ecstasy, and ecstasy was the big problem really. I was taking ecstasy during the week, and then just at the beginning really of January of this year, February, things kind of got a wee bit bad. Then I ended up taking prescription drugs then, diazepams, which were cheap ones, and they just sent me cuckoo. So they did really, and I was going to attempt suicide, went to the bridge twice. So I did. Go to your doctor and say that you want to declare yourself to go into a detox or Grantia, you need to go over there, because I was a risk to myself and I was a risk to my family members, because I was coming down off a lot of prescription drugs. So I ended up going over there, and your woman was basically just, we don't do this and we don't do that, and it's self-inflicted drugs and stuff like this, and
They don't do what?
They don't look after people with drug problems. You know, it's more mental health issues in Grantia itself. And I was saying, well, I kind of do have mental health issues, because I have suicide thoughts running through my head. I have had. And I know if it continues, it's gonna, I could end up going to kill myself. I had a razor blade in my pocket, and I just says to your woman, I just threw it out on the table. I says, look, you know what I mean, that's the point I'm coming to then now, is that, and just threw the razor blade across the table towards her, and she was kind of shocked.
I've a big scar too in the back of my leg here. I don't know how I got that. I think it was when I was sleeping. Somebody was actually injecting, because I'm right-handed, and to get on there. Do you understand?
I do, yeah. I know, like, it must have been asked something Sunday when you weren't aware of it. Of course.
I'll never be back there again.
Not worth it, is it?
No.
Not worth the buzz?
No. No.
Fiction.
It was no fun for me. I was doing poorly out of pain. Not fun.
Took everything from me too.
Did it? Aye.
Oh, I have no 40s, I have no children, no wife. Give me nothing. Takes it all.
And that's a drug for detox, but Subutex. And that's for drugs. That's for opiate detox. Only opiate? Just opiate. You get Suboxone as well. That's another one. You have to go up every single morning to get your Subutex up to the chemist. They go into the wee box and they give you your Subutex. And as soon as they look in your mouth and see that it's all away, you just walk out. And then you come up the next day and you do the same thing, and then you walk out, and then you come up the next day and you walk out. And that's just the way that's the way it is, the way they work it. But see, after you're caught up with it in your mouth for so long, your doctor gives you weekly, gives you 7 tablets weekly. Or if you're on 24 ml, it gives you 21 8 ml tablets. If you're caught not sneaking out your mouth, it's complete and utter, it's a joke. Because the reason why I'm saying it's a joke is because Subutex is worth a fortune on the street. It's worth a lot of money on the street. You know, and if you've got 8 ml a tablet, you're only maybe 25 or 30 quid for one wee tablet. For one wee 8 ml tablet. And if you're in 3 of them, there's 60 to 80 quid of money, 60 to 90 quid, sorry, of money. And if you go and buy yourself, if you were a heroin addict, you go and buy yourself buy the heroin. Or if you want to go and buy Oxycontin, or if you want to swap it, or if you want to do something with it, you'll get your deal with Ron.
It boggles my mind that you have no one there looking after you when you're detoxing, and I'm on about 1, 2, 3 days supervision. You should be.
It was, Mummy, give me an appointment with a doctor, quick. I need to see a doctor. Mummy, quick, Mummy. So I rang out hours, said about him, what had happened that day, and that he was very agitated. And so we got an appointment for 10:10. So when we got to the hospital, when it was his appointment time, he was seen by the CPN, which is the clinical and he just dismissed Andrew drinking drugs, and Andrew stormed out of the wee room, and I had a gun, and they said to me, no, nothing wrong with him, there's nothing wrong with him. I'm just so bewildered with everything that has happened. The missed opportunities that we had to help Andrew. He was offered a place at that rehab down in Oma, but he had to be off everything for 6 weeks. I would say he was off it 3 or 4 weeks, but it was his birthday, and then he had a blowout. So we were back to square one. We were no longer going to Oma because you've stopped drinking drugs again, so you were back to square one. So we were like, for every 2 steps forward, we were taking 10 back, and we were getting nowhere. So I know why Andrew didn't go over the bridge, but at the end of it all, because he was that fed up and disgusted, because he knew he was killing me, he was hurting everybody around him, but he couldn't help it. He was that far lost, and I know that's why he ended up taking his life, because
nobody ever lifted him out of it and given him the concentrated help that he needed for an addict.
No.
There's nothing there, basically.
Nothing.
In the town.
I can't even say. I can't even say that. Well, maybe they helped us a wee bit here. They helped us a wee bit. No, just no. He attempted to take his own life. I don't even know how many times. But it was just, I just felt like we were ignored. Andrew was ignored, I was ignored, and then because I am that humiliated and embarrassed by it, I couldn't believe that this is my son and he's behaving like this, that I hadn't even got the energy anymore to fight for help from him. I was exhausted. Andrew had me drained, exhausted. There was times I felt like, if this is the way it's going to be for the rest of my life, I may as well not be here, because I couldn't cope. I couldn't cope with him.
Definitely would have helped me. The detox centre is badly needed in this town, because there's rehab centres in this town and they're not going to take people under residential care because they're on illicit drugs and they're on prescription medication. I myself am on antipsychotics, antidepressants and stomach tablets, and for me to get into a rehab centre I need to come off my antipsychotics. I've come off my antipsychotics before for 3 days and it was the worst 3 days of my life. I thought the antipsychotics was making me hear voices when it wasn't. The antipsychotics were helping the voices.
The problem of drug use has largely been swept under the carpet in Derry. Terrible cliche, but true. I think if you talk to anyone who works professionally in any of the drug and alcohol related centres, or even anywhere connected with suicide awareness, depression and many of the associated mental problems it can bring, they will tell you that there's a new, younger generation of people presenting, looking for help, for whom alcohol is most definitely not the primary issue.
There's no money in cures, there's only money in sickness, and that's my problem with these young men. And you know, we need role models, we need people like these to be able to have the chance to change so they can go forward and do something constructive. What do you think about that, lads?
Sweet guy.
Myself, I don't do politics. I work with anybody, any colour, any creed, any religion. It doesn't matter to me who you are, what you are. I don't really have anything to do with religion myself. That's my own choosing. But in addiction, and for the addiction unit, I'll work with anybody that can help manifest something positive to come out of the city.
Do you think it is a political football, whether Derry gets a detox centre or not?
Total, everything is a political football. Everything is a political football. Everything is, the strings can be turned at any stage, at any time, by the political will. But the political will has been taken away from the people. The people put these people into power. And what they have to do is they have to say to them in the next election, which is coming up in 6 months' time, we want, we get, full stop.
The campaign's already going, you know, not dramatically, but his death actually crystallised everything, brought more people out on the streets. So I was calling for a petition. I said, let's go to the, let's get the mayor involved. Let's get the city council involved. Let's go to the health committee, the assembly health committee, and then let's go to the minister. The minister then was Edmund Poots. Now there's a new minister, and there was a good round of applause for that. Because what I was actually articulating was not just saying, "Oh, isn't this drug thing a terrible thing?" I was trying to say, here's a strategy that we need to move forward. It ended up that the paper petition collected in the region of say 60,000 signatures. Now in a city of 110,000, I reckon, 60,000 signatures just on the paper petition and the online petition. Then the other ones on the Facebook. There's much more.
It's an astounding figure.
Astounding figure for a town this size. And the petition now, what's happening that? It's just lying there gathering dust.
Did you give the petition with the 50,000 signatures signed by Derry people in support of the detox centre to the then Health Minister Edmund Poots, and what did he do with it?
Yeah, it was probably the largest ever petition. The process for handing a petition to an ordinary assembly, you're given 2 or 3 minutes at the beginning of the plenary and Stormont. You say a few words in the House in relation to it. It was the largest ever petition handed over, and as such we then in turn handed over to the Health Minister. It was his intention. He was hoping to meet with me and a number of the families that have been affected and lost family, loved ones as a result of that to meet with him. We have a new minister coming in now, Edwin Prince, who has again restated that he would be prepared to meet us.
Jim Wells, is it?
Jim Wells, yes. And Jim was prepared to meet us. Due to the talks, due to the budgetary arrangements, I'm hoping to have that meeting in the new year to try and convince him of the need. And I think the evidence is there, but it's always very hard because people argue, well, was there higher relevance in Antrim, was there higher relevance somewhere else? But it's very hard to say to a mother who's lost her son, or say to a father who's lost his daughter in these circumstances, because it is one of those subject matters, one that has united the city, one that has united families, and one that has united politicians in the city. It was necessary to have a detoxification centre.
That's right.
So really today is about World Suicide Prevention Day. It just so happens that my own nephew took his own life to suicide at the start of this year, and that has obviously had a massive impact on our family. Well, the campaign in the detox unit is rapidly making good pace. My involvement in the campaign there is that my nephew had a drug and alcohol problem, and the help that he required and that he needed just wasn't there. So I have lifted up the calls, for our detox centre, and that we have a perfectly good facility just sitting straddling the border here, a place called White Oaks.
But certainly here at White Oaks, we have the physical space for it. We have the resources in that sense. What we are lacking at the moment is having the nursing and medical staff. And I suppose where we're positioned at the moment, because we're only less than half a mile from the Derry-Donegal border, we're on the outskirts of Derry City. We're ideally placed in that sense as a cross-border facility. And I think when you look at what's happening in other aspects of healthcare in this region, more and more there's a recognition that resources should be shared.
The border here is literally a stone throw away, so we don't rule out the north-south, because the issues of alcoholism isn't unique to Derry. The issues of substance or drugs abuse isn't unique to Derry, and because of that, if we can do things better, more collaboratively with the government in the south, and why not do it? We have the primest example in the radiotherapy centre in Derry as a model of best practice going forward. That people right up as far as Bundoran can come to Elton Galvin rather than travelling 4 and 5 hours to Dublin.
It is somewhat regrettable that the minister has come back just last week and suggested that he, at this stage, doesn't believe that there is much point in continuing the engagement in relation to White Oaks. At the meeting that we had with the minister, he was willing to continue to look at that as a possibility. But there was some correspondence last week in which he is suggesting that this is no longer an option. Obviously we don't accept that, and Maeve will be going back to the minister to challenge his reasoning behind that, and we hope that cooperation and working together can, in the very short term, produce some sort of pilot to utilise the project down there.
Did he say why?
No, as I say, it was a letter that was presented to the committee last week. There was no substance to why in the letter, but it's something that certainly Maeve will continue to explore with him and obviously challenge.
I just got a phone call there from my friend. He said someone else has just jumped off the foil last night, and their body was found today. So that's someone else.
The Quigley family had put up on Facebook that they wanted volunteers to come and help in the search, and that was the day the actual day that they had found out that Andy had went missing. So I come down here and there was hundreds of people, all from the local community, and we just started the search. It was ongoing for, I think, maybe three to 4 weeks. We concentrated the search a lot around this area, and the Quigley family, Dee and Kieran, would have went out in the boats with Foyle Search and Rescue, and they would have went down as far as Moville and Greencastle and all the surrounding areas. In the end, ironically, Andy was found not far from the council offices in Derry, and obviously that was a great relief for all of us and a great relief for the family.
I spent a lot of time with Andrew. I know him quite well. Well, I did know him, God bless him. But I think if there was somewhere for Andrew to go to detox his body and clear his mind, it could have been a different story. You know, definitely could have been a different story. And Andrew's not just the only victim that this has happened to. There were so many more, you know, that this has happened to. But, you know, Andrew especially, that I knew quite well. I knew him very well.
I would love to think that the legacy of Andy Quigley's death would be that there would be help for all the young people in Derry, particularly the young men who have been turned away from so much help and all, doors closed continually on them, that there is something set up to help them.
Red, white and blue. What's your future hold if you keep taking drugs?
I'd say about every day. Well, I used to be out every day stealing it. If you go back on, like, you're just going to keep stealing. It's the cycle, or else you're going to get put into jail. Either way, like, or else you're going to get shot. Or else you're hiding.
Do you think you're headed for jail or being shot?
Definitely. I'm for getting shot, don't I?
Do you have any optimism that you might have a good life, you know, when you grow up?
No, sure, no, I'm training to be a social worker.
Right. What about yourself there now in the chair, your future if you stay on drugs, what do you think?
Fuck. Locked up or dead. One or two.
I've learnt so much about drugs in Derry through the making of this film. I honestly was not aware of the scale of the problem and the misery that exists in the town through drugs. We haven't got a detox centre today. We won't have a detox centre tomorrow. And until we do, there will be more dead bodies floating in the Foyle due to addiction, and there will be more police helicopters looking for dead bodies in the Foyle until the day that we do get the detox centre. That's a fact, that's inevitable now at this stage. The campaign's going to go on. You know, this film will end, but the campaign for a detox centre, it is going on, it will continue. I just hope the town doesn't need to choke on addiction suicides before the day comes.
Far will I run, far will I go to see you now. So my baby, to see you. I would cross the ocean, yeah, the deep blue ocean, to see you now. So my baby, to see you.